always waiting for if you keep on waiting. But then you came along and proved me wrong. I was so mistaken, 'cause you put all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you making me try forever. And I feel so free. Oh my sweet baby. I was never the one to give up the ghost. I was so stuck high. Kept on playing my part, wanting to give it 'cause nothing was changing. But with you it's so clear and never reversed. Colors in every spectrum. Guess I finally learned my lesson. 'Cause you put all the pieces back together. Yeah, you taking my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. I feel so free. Oh my sweet baby. And I think to myself, and I'm thinking out loud, we won't need nothing else for the rest of our time. And I know it so well, I'll always be by your side. 'Cause you put all the pieces back together. Yeah, you take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free. Oh my sweet baby. Take all my wrongs and make them better. Yeah, you're making me wanna try forever. And I feel so free. I'm a sweet baby.
You're a lonely sailor, and your soul is made of wind and rain. Some blame. I'm a weary pirate, and my heart is made of dust and grain. Oil, sand, and pain. I've got troubles, I've got sin. I'm the worst enemy, but I still got a lot to give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come? Come and run away with me. Hey, won't you come? Won't you come? Say by chance, don't you want me? A man who fully understands a sailor's heart. You're a born survivor, and you'll never find yourself in love. No wise enough. I've got troubles, I've got sin. To give. So I said, hey, don't you wanna come? Come and run away. Hey, won't you come? Won't you come? And say by chance, don't you want me? Man who fully
as they need to start the rebuilding life. The roads that lay open on their knees when the old one's gone under the knife. And I can feel the sun on my skin, beginning to fall from within. This morning has a clearer light as any to see the horizon and the fall. Excuses were two for a penny, but they've all gone out the window of this car. And when I feel the wind on my face, all that ever was is a today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, well, something's gotta give. Today is a good day to live. Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Today, something's gotta give. Today is a good day. Today and not tomorrow. There's no time to borrow. Something's gotta give. It's a good day today. will do everything I can for you. You will grow up in the blink of an eye and move out and be on your own. But no matter what comes your way, I will stay right here beside you to catch you if you fall. And deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. Deep and abiding, liking for you is all I need. Until my heart gives in, I will do everything I can for you. I still recall first time I saw you. I was so nervous to fall. Happened so fast, went from so lonely to falling asleep in your arms. Used to be afraid to fall in love. Past relationship was a disaster, but now I don't. 'Cause you took my scars, bruises and broken heart, numbed all the pain, showed me how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore. Still got your hand wrapped in my bed. Don't wanna wash it away. I know sometimes I get too caught up in all of the wrong things, but you're always there to guide me. I used to be afraid to fall in love. A past relationship was a disaster, but now I don't care. 'Cause you took my scars, bruises and broken heart, numbed all the pain, showed me how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore. used to be afraid until I met you. I was insecure, caught up in the pain, but you showed me how to heal. Took my scars, bruises and broken heart, pain. Show me how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore. Numbed all the pain. Show me how to heal, and now I don't feel broken anymore. Life is a winding road, no telling where it goes. Driving through days and nights, won't stop for traffic lights. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down. Jumping from cliffs so high, trusting our wings to fly. Sometimes we're crashing down, but we get up and start from the ground. And I really wanna know if I will ever figure out where the road goes. Even if I'm falling down, I will keep on searching for my highs. You can say I lost my mind, I will keep on holding my head high. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, the sky is falling down. Even if the sky is falling down, even if the sky is falling down, the sky is falling